In this video, we're going to be going over how to create those glitch effects from Fakemink's Easter Pink music video, and I'm also going to be including a free editing pack down in the description, so let's get right into it. Okay, so for this effect, we're going to be using this NEMS music video in order to create those glitch effects. And in order to get the best results when we create these shape layers, in order to create that glitch effect, you want to have a lot of B-roll footage. So the first thing you want to have is a background clip that's going to last for maybe a little less than a second or a little longer, because we're going to be having the glitch effects on top of this video layer right here. And we're only going to be focusing on these 4 clips for now. So these next 3 clips are going to be for a similar glitch effect, but it's going to look different from the first one we're about to get into. First thing I'm going to be showing you guys is how to create those shape layers and then adding the video layers on top of those shape layers so that we can create that glitch effect. So let's grab the rectangle tool right here and make sure your fill is white and your stroke is off. For this first shape, let's create something like this. You want to make sure that your shapes look good. I'm going to drag this one down to right here, click off of that layer and create another shape. Create it like that. Click off of that layer again and create another shape so it looks kind of like this. I'm actually going to change the settings for this one and increase the size so that it's a little longer, and then just make sure that it aligns with the other shapes. So it's really important to make sure that you align all these shapes, or else the glitch effect isn't going to really look good. Right there should be good. So it doesn't have to be perfect, but also just make sure that it actually looks good, you feel me? And then I'm just going to create a square right down here. Hold the shift button on your keyboard in order to create a perfect square, and just make sure that it aligns with this shape layer right here. Bring this down just a little so that it connects with the other shape. So that's going to be one shape layer, and I'm going to be adding a clip over the shape layer. So let's actually pre-compose all 4 of these layers. And I'm just going to name this one left because it's going to be on the left side. Then let's create another shape layer for the second clip. So I'm going to drag this one and I'm going to have it connect with this first shape layer that we created. Actually, I'm going to make this one a little longer, change the size, make sure to unlink that, and then let's increase the X value, bring that a little more towards the right. Then I'm going to create one more shape layer on top of this one right here. So let's create this one like this. I'm also going to change the settings again for this one. So this effect can be a little tedious because we want to make sure that we're creating a bunch of shape layers that actually align with each other. So I think that looks fine. I'm going to drag these 2 to the bottom and let's pre-compose both of these layers. Name this one right because it's going to be on the right side. And then of course, if you see any imperfections, you can always just drag the layer. And let's turn on this video layer right here. Click the toggle switches and modes in order to open up the track mat. And then you can grab this right here and just drag it towards the left layer, the left shape layer, or you can just click this and then just change that to that layer. As you guys can see, that clip is now track matted to the shape layer, but I don't like the way that looks. So I'm going to actually drag this more towards the left so that we have a better look of this clip. And then let's turn on the other video layer and drag that for the right shape layer. And then let's also move the clip so that we can see our subject. Now we have these 2 clips playing on these shape layers, and in the Easter Pink music video they had it really fast. So let's actually cut these layers so that it's only 3 frames long. So that's the first way of creating this glitch effect. And for the second way, it's going to be a similar process, but we're only going to be creating one shape layer because we're only going to be using one clip. So for that one, let's actually drag your next clip forward, and then I'm going to be creating a new shape layer, but we're only going to be creating one. Let's actually turn this layer off for now. Make sure you don't have any layers selected, and let's just drag a shape layer like this. And I'm still going to have the shape layer selected, but I'm just going to create another rectangle layer within that same shape layer. And then let's create a few more. I'm going to have this one like that, create another one right here. Final one we can just create right here. Okay, so my shape layers, obviously they don't look good because everything is like uneven and not aligned. So if you were to create this effect, you definitely want to spend some time aligning your shapes and making sure that they look better than mine. You can always just go into the shape layer and modify the size as well as the position. So for this one right here, I'm actually going to bring the position up a little just so that it aligns with this shape right here. And as you're creating these shapes, make sure that you're creating the length as well as the width the same size as a square. So mine doesn't look like a square, so just make sure that yours looks better than mine. I'm just going to leave it like that for now. Drag the shape layer down and then turn on next clip. Do the same thing, grab the track mat and drag it onto that shape layer. Just like that, we have that clip on the shape layer. Let's make this one really short too. I'm going to have this one only 2 frames. If you don't like the look of your footage on the shape, you can always just move it. think I'm going to move it like right there. For this next part, I'm going to be creating a lot more shape layers as well as adding a lot more clips. So once I'm done with that, we'll be right back. Okay, so that takes a lot longer than expected, but this is what we have for the first glitch effect. So really the whole point is just creating a bunch of different shape layers as well as just adding a bunch of clips on top of them. I really like the way that looks. It's a really unique effect. Okay, so for this next effect, we're going to be creating that black and white glitch effect using these 3 clips. And for this one, we're also going to be using the free editing pack that I mentioned from earlier. Once you download that, you're going to get 3 PNGs, and I'm just going to drag that into our composition. So let's actually turn those layers off for now. The first thing we're going to do is create a split screen between these first 2 clips. So let's open up the proportional grid and then grab your rectangle tool. Make sure to mask out exactly half of, make sure you select your layer and then mask out exactly half of this proportional grid. That should be good. So you want to mask out 4 squares, and then I'm going to center the anchor point, click that layer, hold the control button, and then double click this point right here to center the anchor point. And then I'm just going to move that towards the right so that it covers exactly half of that side. And then we're going to be doing the same thing for this next layer. Grab your rectangle tool, select the layer. I'm going to mask out this part right here, center the anchor point, and then move the position. Now we have 2 split screen layers. And just make sure that these 2 layers align with each other. Also cut this layer so that's the same length as this first clip. Bring this layer back. And in the Easter Pink music video, when they did the split screen effect, it was actually in slow motion. So in order to do that, let's pre-compose these first 2 clips and make sure you select this option right here. For this one, I'm going to name it to the right because it's the layer on the right. Do the same thing, pre-compose the other layer and make sure to name that left. We're going to be adding an effect called time warp to both of these layers. For the settings, I'll just leave it as it is and then do the same thing, add it to the left layer. Now when I play this, as you guys can see, the clips are in slow motion. All right, so for the next part, we're gonna be creating that glitch effect, and we're gonna be using this 3rd clip in order to create that glitch effect. Find a good frame for your clip. I really like this first frame, and we're gonna click that layer, right click, go to time, click freeze frame. So we're just gonna be using this exact frame in order to create that glitch effect. Drag that back. So let's go to the beginning of these 2 layers right here. Go forward a few frames. I'm gonna go forward 11 frames and have the glitch effect start right here. Also going to cut this timeline. Let's add effects to this layer. First one we're going to be adding is a threshold. For the level, I'll be decreasing that to 105. It should look good. For the next effect, we're going to be adding a mosaic. Increase both the horizontal as well as the vertical blocks to 400. For the final effect, we're going to be adding a tint. For the white color, I'm just going to make that a little more gray. That's how they did it in the music video. So this is a pretty close look to the actual Easter Pink music video. And we're gonna have it start like this. Go forward 1 frame, click Ctrl-Shift-D in order to cut that layer. And then we're gonna be adding the shape layers a few times throughout this clip. For this first part, we're gonna be using the first shape layer. And I'm gonna drag that underneath the freeze frame layer. Cut this layer so that's only 3 frames from this layer right here. We're gonna go forward 1 frame, cut the layer again. For this layer, open up the toggle switches and modes, attach the track mat to that shape layer. Then let's go forward 2 frames from right here, cut this layer again, attach the track mat to that same shape layer, and we're going to be adding an effect called invert to this layer so that it switches. It's going to be black instead of white. So this is how it looks so far. Now moving on to the next shape layer, turn that one on. Let's make this one at 3 frames. Cut this freeze frame layer, add the invert effect to this one too, and then of course attach the track mat to that second shape layer. And then we're going to use this final shape layer. For this one, it's going to be a little longer. It's going to be 5 frames. Go to the beginning of this freeze frame right here, and then go forward 3 frames. Cut that layer, go forward another 2 frames. And then we're just going to delete this part of the layer. Make sure to attach the track mat to that final shape layer. Do the same thing for this freeze frame layer right here. And for this one, we're going to be adding the invert effect. This is what we have for the final effect. I think that looks really clean. And I'll be showing you guys how it looks when we play all of it together. So yeah, effects like this take a really long time, but once you actually put the time and effort into it, it can turn out to be super fire. But that is all I have for this video. Appreciate you guys for watching. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.